Hi, my name is Leah Fotofili. I'm from the Beholder Styling and Design.
Here we go.
Real people, real community, real conversations.
Let me introduce Leah. Leah is the founder and director of the Beholder Styling and Design. The Beholder was born from a love of great functionality and design, founded on the basis that everyone should be able to get the most out of their home, whether it's for sale or just for themselves. To ensure every space they style evokes an emotional connection with the Beholder. Don't stress yourself out and let Leah take the reins. Episode 5 of the podcast, Let Me Introduce, your host, Craig Fisher. G'day, Leah. Thanks for joining us on Let Me Introduce.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Great. So tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, I'm a mother of 4 kids. We moved to the coast when I was pregnant with my daughter, so 15 years ago, and we started the business about 7 years ago now.
7 years ago. It's been that long.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell us a bit about that. Tell us, what was the inspiration behind the Beholder?
Well, it was one of those things, you know, you've got little kids, they're starting to get a little bigger and you're starting to think about your career path again. And actually, I just had a friend who's in real estate who said to me one day, I'd been helping her with her personal styling, and she asked me if I'd be interested in styling a property for her. And it literally just started like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So do you have a background in interior design? Have you been into anything?
At that stage, no. I'd worked a little bit in the film industry and bookkeeping, but it had always been interested in interior design. And at that stage, I didn't have, any formal qualifications, just a good eye.
Oh, wow. So you're a natural?
Just a natural.
All right. So tell us then, so the inspiration behind it was just born out of necessity? Was it born out of we just fell into it? I understand that there was you had a real estate friend that wanted to come in and help, but what's the driver now then? Let's talk about the driver now. I get out of bed and want to do this every day.
I love interior design. So
yeah,
I love styling, and I guess, I fell into it, but found something I was good at. And could earn a living off. I mean, it was a bit of a long road, but
they always are. When you
didn't quite just all fall into place.
Overnight success in 7 years.
Yeah, exactly. But I do love the design side. Always.
So that's where you draw your inspiration.
Yeah, I think so. And also, I think I have a pretty good spatial awareness, so I can always see where things need to go and how a house would look best,
yes,
and how it flows best and what's appealing. And also, I think I can also see the character of a house and can always pull it together pretty well.
Yes, that
people can also see how it works.
Yeah. That you do. In my experience with utilising your services, that's what I like. It's like you're painting a blank canvas. Like you're there.
Yeah.
It seems like every house is its own canvas for you to paint.
Yeah, we don't really approach houses as we don't have one set look. I think we always style for that house, so it's not like we walk back into the warehouse and go, okay, we'll just pull that package. It's always, tailored to that property to show off its best assets and hide any things that shouldn't be seen.
That's in any home too, isn't it, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So growth now. So let's talk about, so we fast forward, we've come through, so children growing up, businesses growing. We've come into the world that we are today with the COVID world. We're after, what did that look like between, let's say, COVID and here now? How did that feel?
Oh, look, I think like a lot of businesses, when COVID first hit, nearly 2 years ago, we were pretty sure it was, we kind of looked at each other and were like, well, that was a fun ride, probably all done now. Oh, well, not much we can do about that. And then really, though, there was only probably 2 weeks where I kind of kicked back and thought, oh, well, we're done. And then it just started picking up and haven't really looked back. It's been pretty much consistently busy. I think everyone obviously wanting to get out of the city, and we're really desirable up here for not just, I mean, it's beautiful and the beaches, but also just we're convenient.
Yeah.
So as you know, the market's just started going bananas. And then even with this second round of COVID, it's just been booming.
Yeah, absolutely. It has. There's two conversations going out there in the marketplace. I've noticed. Rookie error on the buzzer. There's a fear that we're at the end of it, and with what's been happening with the banks. But then there's actually what's happening, and I'm seeing this story over here and what's actually happening are actually two different stories at the moment. Yeah. I'm not saying it's actually going to come together, but I don't know about you. I just can't see the story coming together just yet. I might be wrong.
No, I'm with you. I just, there's a lot of that fear mongering, and banks clamping down, and the bubble's going to burst,
But the bubble's always going to burst, right?
Always.
Yeah.
But I always say, people are always like, so we might hold off because prices will drop. But I'm always thinking, well, I've never really seen prices drop, considerably. Maybe sometimes you might pick up a bargain, but not really.
Yeah.
And I just think the demand's there. So while ever there's a demand for this area, I can't see the price, I just can't see it bursting. No.
And more of a demand when immigration's, that's got to come yet.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, they're saying people are flooding back to Australia. So I know a lot of people have been holding off because there's all those people coming home wanting to buy property.
Yeah, absolutely. But for a lot of the consumers right now, it's where to from here. So it's not even necessarily north, because north is a similar pricing to here. So is it west? I don't know. Whoever's got that answer should chime in and let us know.
Let us know. Let me know quietly, please.
All right. So we're after Freedom Day right now. So I hear you've got some plans at the moment for growth. Are we okay to talk about that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that then. So we've come from just starting out doing a little bit of styling, helping someone, and now we're in full-flown
design mode.
Yeah,
now.
Design mode. You've come from just putting some pieces of furniture down to help someone to how many businesses?
Well, I guess it's one of those things, isn't it? We've gone from the evolution of the business as it what it is now. We've been through. We just did the home staging for real estate.
And who was with you in that? So
Laura and I started the business, and Laura's actually teaches fashion design.
Yeah.
She has now stepped out of the business because she's, really busy with work in Sydney, so she's stepped out. And then for a while there was Karen and I, and we did a lot more, or the three of us for a little while there.
The three amigas,
yeah. And then we did a lot of event styling as well. And I guess when COVID hit last year, we all looked at one another and were like, okay, so we're probably done, but what's everyone's thoughts? And then when the business started picking up again, I guess everyone kind of looked at each other and had a really good think about what they really enjoyed.
Right.
And Laura sort of said, well, look, I'm going to go back to fashion design only and give that my all for now. And Karen was really focused on events, so we've separated the events and the other side of the business. So she's taken the event side of the business, and now I've got standing alone, doing the home staging. But with the recent round of COVID, the interior design side of the business has really grown exponentially. So
interior design, not for real estate, as in property styling with photography. You're talking about mums and dads, consumers redoing their houses.
That's right. Looking at their four walls through the COVID period, going, actually, I think I might need some new furniture. I don't know where to start. Maybe I'll focus on my home. People have got a little bit of extra money because they're not travelling.
Of course.
And they've all decided that, they'd like the place where they hang out all the time to look a lot better. So that side of the business has grown.
Yeah, because it's very confusing out there in the world at the moment. What's on trend, what's not on trend, what has been on trend.
Yeah.
If I was to buy that by the time it gets here, is it actually still going to be on trend?
Yeah, what am I doing? I don't know where to start.
Yeah, can I use what I got?
Together. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now I do a lot of going into people's houses, either fitting them out entirely or helping them, redo their kitchen bathroom and purchasing things to complement what they've got. Maybe not necessarily all new. Maybe it might be just partials, some artwork. Or I always like to work with as much as we can because I think we buy too much and throw away too much these days.
That's the world.
Yeah. And trends come and go. So we always try and focus and, try and get people to buy things that might last a little bit longer.
They're more accessorised than...
Yeah.
Okay.
Consider things a little bit more instead of just buying the cheaper version and then throwing it out in a year's time and that sort of thing. So I feel like we do a lot of that now as well.
Yeah.
And we're opening an office in Terrigal.
Oh, wow. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, just an opportunity arose and we needed a space to work. And so we've opened on Pine Tree Lane and we're going to open a retail space as well. So you can come and...
So are we sticking with the Beholder name? Or
sticking with the Beholder. Yeah. So you'll find us there behind near Buffont Bakery.
Oh, yeah. Good spot.
Yeah, great spot.
Yeah, right near the car park. Come and get you.
And going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So when's that opening? Have we opened or are you soft launched or?
We're in there at the moment, but we should be open for December.
Okay.
Yeah, so probably
not
another
that far
month.
off, is it?
Yeah, not too
right
far
time for silly season in Terrigal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nice.
Exactly.
Yeah, you'll be open across the period, I suppose.
Yeah,
to get
we'll be
things
open.
In. Yeah,
yep,
fantastic.
Opening up, and then we're not opening Sundays. We've decided to keep one sacred.
One day for yourself. You got to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll be open all other days.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and just focusing on bringing in pieces that you can't really find on the coast.
Okay, so tell me a little bit now about what it is that you do that helps people in real estate, buyers and sellers, see the vision, buying and selling. Just tell us a bit about that. What's your view from where you sit?
So obviously you need to stand out online first and foremost.
Absolutely.
And if your house doesn't stand out, you're not going to get people through the door. And then when you get people through the door, people need to be able to, you want to be able to fall in love with the property, sell the dream. So when we come in, we always think about just neutralising the space, making it appealing for people when they come in, telling a bit of a story, and selling that dream and making it so that people can envisage themselves in the house so that they're not walking away thinking about your furniture or your art or your kids on the wall. Mm-hmm. It's more just opening it up, making it feel like their home or so they can see themselves in their home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people, only 10% of people can visualise the space. So if you get people into your house and it's cluttered and you don't know how, they can't see how it's going to work for them because only 10% of people can see through everything else, you've pretty much lost 90% of people who've come through the door.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. So yeah, like I've said it before and I'll say it out loud again. If it wasn't for mannequins in shop front windows, most people couldn't dress themselves.
Yeah.
And I really do feel that.
Same with the property.
Same with property. Most people can't stand there and envision a 2-seater, a 3-seater, or
Not
what
at
colour.
All. And the number of times we come into a person's house, and we don't always bring all new furniture in, we'll often start with people's furniture. And it happened again just last week. And I've styled this person's house twice now for sale.
Right.
And we walked in, and the first thing I did was turn the table around. And they walked back upstairs, and they've been living there now for a few years. Mm-hmm. And just straight away were like, oh, my God.
Block the energy.
Yeah.
Got the energy flow.
Straight away, they were like, I cannot believe you've done it again, where you just walk in and you move one little thing and suddenly I'm looking at my house in a whole new light going, why didn't I think of that?
Looking at it, feeling it.
Yeah, this is how the house works. This is how it flows. And I never thought to do that.
Yeah. So have you, do you have an emphasis on feng shui at all, or is it more just, is it an influence
feng
there?
Shui. I can just, when you walk in, I can just
feel that
tell how
intuitively?
A house, will work for someone. And it doesn't mean it will work for the person who's living there at the time that way. And I always say to people, the way you've had it's not wrong.
Yeah.
That's how it worked for you. I'm just styling it so that it works for most people and so that they can see how it works and how it flows and the circulation space and just so that you can see the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely for what it is.
Yeah.
So in summary, we're doing it for the seller so that the seller has their best opportunity at their greatest outcome at that point in time. And what it's doing for the buyer, it's attracting the most amount about the buyers so that we can actually have the exposure there.
Exactly.
So we're opening the audience from the 10% to, well, flipping on its head basically.
Yeah. Well, it's just so everyone can see how it's going to work, and so that they're not left wondering. So I always say to people, you know, if that space is confusing, we need to really outline to people how that's going to work. So that's the living room, that's the dining room.
Yeah.
That's the office. There's this many bedrooms and they're this big. So, you know, if a room's big enough, dress it with a bigger bed because that's what they're going to remember.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting the progression through real estate through the last 5 to 7. It was really, it was really a luxury thing for some at the start, but now it's a given. It's almost like if you're not doing it, like you're really doing yourself a disservice. Yeah.
Well, when someone comes into the house, you know, you're a buyer, you want the maximum price. You're the seller, you want the maximum price, and the buyer wants to pay the minimum price.
Yeah.
So they're going to be looking for things that they can reduce. So I always say to people, okay, so the minute they walk in, the minute they start thinking, I need to change that, I need to do that, I don't know how that works, the dollars are coming off the price, the offer.
It used to be $1,000, now it's $10,000, $10,000, yeah.
Exactly. So what you want to do is for them to walk in and they just fall in love with the place. They don't even see all the things that need doing, and that's where styling comes in. And we always say it's a bit like smoke and mirrors. So they're falling in love with the space and they're not looking for any defects.
No, that's right.
They've just instantly loved it. And the fact that they're only in there for like 6 to 11 minutes, they've already decided. They've probably decided whether they want it or not before they get in the door because they've fallen in love with the pictures, and then they get in there and that continues that dream, and then...
It's almost like the physical inspection at the moment is the second inspection.
Yeah.
If I can say it that way.
Yeah,
Between photos, video, looking online, Google Earth...
Especially with COVID, like that's now, it's just a given that you do all those things because that's what's going to get them in and that's going to get you the maximum amount of money. Yeah,
absolutely. So, and your take on, say, the property video side of thing as well, in this, is photography enough? Do you think it's more, what's your professional opinion?
I love the video. I think you get a much better look at the house and you pick up things that the photography doesn't, and also I think you can do a lot more editorial style, so magazine style, and people are really savvy now. They watch The Block, they watch home renovation shows, they know what they should be doing or what can be done and what they want, and I think that just sells that
absolutely
whole
does.
idea.
The even when we're out on Saturdays doing open homes, I actually have people that come to our open homes and say, oh, this one's a 7.
Yeah.
I was like, when I first heard that, what do you mean it's a 7? But, I get the grade now.
Yeah.
I only went to a lot of trouble here. If this was styled professionally, 10 out of 10 for the stylists.
Yeah.
Great kudos for the owners. Any buyer here would love that.
Yeah.
It's really interesting where the mind of the consumer is right now, just based on, because we're so content driven.
For sure.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking at Instagram. Everyone's looking.
Yeah. Is Pinterest big in your world?
Pinterest is not as big in my world, but I do have lots of clients who use Pinterest, and we use Pinterest a lot to gauge where someone's style. So if I have a client, they'll do a lot of Pinterest boards for the interior design side. Yeah. So I can see what they're loving, and I can also see then where they're going wrong with too many different looks and gauge,
so you're using that as a professional tool in your...
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, because I never really saw it take off in real estate.
No, I don't personally use Pinterest a lot. I would definitely use Instagram.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? So Instagram, Facebook. What about TikTok? What's your take on TikTok?
I don't really do TikTok. I'm not great with social media, to be honest. But, TikTok's massive. It's just massive with the young'uns.
Yeah.
I reckon when you ask that, it shows your
Yeah,
age.
yeah. I've just had my little one just show me around on that, and I was like, "Are you sure you should be looking at this?"
I know. It's a bit full on. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. But I get the entertainment value of it.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm trying to, in my mind, trying to work out how real estate would fit in that because it's so,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
And random.
It's so random. It's so random and so many weird things on TikTok.
But is that how Facebook was when it started? I just can't remember whether Facebook was at. Or maybe it was because it was new.
Yeah, I remember Facebook being sort of a weird thing that happened.
Yeah.
That everyone was a little bit hesitant about. But now I think we just jump on board those things a lot more.
Yeah, true. So a little bit back down the road, we're having a bit of a chat there just around what property styling and how it affects real estate and pricing. So let's just loop back there for a sec. Just give us your take.
Well, the staging, like home staging or styling for sale, will cost people on average less than 1% of what they're going to make on the property. But always, like I say to people, I don't advise people doing anything to their property that's not going to at least double their money.
It's got to be double or better.
Yeah.
Got to be.
But staging, like you might pay, less than 1% of what you're selling for, and suddenly you're making an extra, I would think, $20,000 to $50,000
all day.
Yeah, if not more. I had a client who we styled their house for sale in Foresters recently, and she rang me the other day and said they made it went for well over like $1 million more than what they thought.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, that's the market at the moment too. But she rang me and was like, "That is all on you for the staging."
Yeah, wow. How cool is that?
Yeah, completely sold the dream.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing for the buyers if you flip it on its head, because we don't want the buyers now feeling when they walk into a property, oh my God, this is styled, I'm going to pay too much. They're actually not paying too much. What it's doing, it's painting a picture of value.
Yeah,
and how you can live.
It's showing how the house, it's realising the potential of a property.
So you could argue that back in the past when it sold, the homes are sold before, that they haven't been shown in their best light, and
not at all.
They probably could have sold for more, or buyers could have bought them for more if they saw value.
Yeah. And that's what I think shows the purchaser. It helps the seller reach the property potential, and it shows the purchaser the potential of the property. So the number of times you walk into a property and they've set it up exactly how it was when they bought it, it's incredible. So
absolutely,
showing them how to use the space, you've saved yourself a fortune on interior design.
Yeah. Well, you know how many times we've said after the fact the buyers have come to us and said, can we just buy the furniture?
Oh, so many times.
Yeah.
So many times. And actually a lot of my interior design work comes from people who've either sold and we've styled their house, or they've purchased and they want to know who did it.
What hair. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah. And that actually is what gives me a lot of pleasure in styling
it
as
does.
well.
I can see that.
Helping people, holding their hand, selling your house is a really difficult time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So helping people through that and helping them reach the best result is what really is most satisfying.
Absolutely, for all parties involved.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me, Leah, what's the future hold for the Beholder?
Well, hopefully just the continual growth. I'm hoping we've started employing more people, which is great. I think on the coast it's just
more jobs on the coast. That's great.
More jobs on the coast. I love that we can offer that we are slowly growing to be able to
community.
Community. And I think I just see just continual growth, which is nice, just helping more people, growing the business, employing more people, and just continuing on.
That was Leah from The Beholder Styling and Design. Leah is the brains behind the business and personally sees to the styling of every space to ensure consistency throughout. If you have any questions about styling and design, then make sure you reach out to Leah and the team from The Beholder at www.thebeholder.com.au. Make sure you head over to my YouTube channel or join me at Craig Fisher Official on your favourite socials.
Let me introduce Craig's number one takeaway.
Okay, moving right along, my number one takeaway from this interview that can be applied to the real estate space. Around 10% of buyers are able to visualise a home's potential. The rest will walk away doubting the suitability of the space. A styled home will capture 90% of the buyers who may have otherwise walked away. The cost of professional styling is 1 to 3% of the asking price, and statistics show a 5 to 10% higher return on a final sale price. To make a small investment in your property and increase your return is a serious no-brainer. And remember, if you've got any questions about buying or selling real estate, feel free to reach out and give me a call or ask me on your preferred communication platform. Thanks for tuning in to the Let Me Introduce podcast. Till next time, let me introduce real people, real community, real estate agents, your host, Craig Fisher.